everybody watching this back. This is a live stream and I will be talking to live people. We are going to be working on Library Fairy from Mermaids Fairies and Other Girls of Whimsy, and everything else done on this page was done on a previous live stream, so you can go ahead and find that if you want. Hi Erin, of course you're the first one here. You being here gives me anxiety. I hope you know that I love you because I'm letting you be here. Hi Jody, thanks for being here. Hi Sharon. Hi Robin, thanks for joining. So I do apologize if my voice sounds terrible. I am still recovering from a head cold. But I wanted to stream today because I'm not sure if I'll be able to stream Wednesday or not. We'll have to see what the hubby's plans are because he's going on days off here soon. Thank you, Erin. Hi, Melissa. I'm surprised you're still awake, Robin. I seen your status on Facebook. So another thing I wanted to say is I am using my everyday phone, thanks Melissa, for recording. So I do apologize if the quality is different than usual or if we have any interruptions. I'm trying to use the trick that Sammy taught me with having my airplane mode on, but my Wi-Fi on as well. I kind of blanked out and forgot to charge my recording phone last night, so... Also going to apologize for any shaking because Miss Lilo is sitting up on the shelf right now. Thanks, Sharon. I do. I'd probably be a lot worse. This is actually only, let's see, I had a sore throat on Friday, so this is maybe like day 4 of being sick, and I'm already starting to get over it. But I take an herbal supplement called echinacea, and that stuff is amazing. Usually I don't even get this far into being sick, but thankfully it's already going away. But I do have some tea right beside me, so that should help. So, if anybody's new to this stream, we're still working in Mermaids, Fairies, and Other Girls of Whimsy by Hannah Lynn, and this is Library Fairy. Oh, that's awesome, Sharon. I didn't know that. That stuff is absolutely amazing. And yes, Aaron is new. He is actually my real life friend. Usually I don't let people I actually know in real life join my live streams, but I figured I'd be nice to Aaron today and let him join. So, start diving in here. I think that's everything that I wanted to say. We are still using Inktense for this. And I think we're actually going to go start on the skin, even though I'm a little bit worried about it because I can't remember the skin tones that I used previously with these pencils. So I'm just kind of going to wing it. I'm going to grab Willow and bit of mustard. And the Sicilian yellow, and I'm gonna hope it goes well. If not, she is a fairy, so her skin doesn't have to be normal. Wow, that is warm. It is like 63 degrees in my house right now, which means it's probably even colder outside because my heat's been running. So I'm just sharpening my pencils and then we'll dive in. Hi Kayla, thanks for joining, hun. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in with the willow. I'm going to start just on her face. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, it's nice, but it's going to start getting really, really cold here. I live in Canada, so I'd actually rather it stayed at this temperature, but it's going to drop into, for you guys, it would be like the minus 20s, sometimes even minus 40. Very rarely, but it has happened a few times. So I'm going to go in with my willow, and as I always do with skin, I'm going to start going around her face. Yes, Robin, this is from Mermaids, Fairies, and Other Girls of Whimsy. For the majority of my streams for the rest of this year, we'll be working in this book because I'm trying to get it finished. So I'm going to use streaming as a motivation to get as many pictures as I can from it done. And then in the new year, we'll probably do some Johanna Basford pictures and Kirby Roseanne's pictures, especially because Miss Sabrina, if you guys know her, she's my coloring guru, and she's like begging me to work on things that aren't Hannah Lynn. As it is, we're supposed to be doing a buddy color out of Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, and I have not even started mine, and I think we started that like maybe a month ago, so... So the great thing with Inktense pencils is you can build up layers, so I don't want to put too much down at once. I am going to place in her nose, and because her face is kind of turned looking left, the only part of her nose that we'll really see is the left side. So I'm going to give her kind of a cute little upturned nose, and I'm just going to bring it up towards her glasses here. So I'll raise this up a little bit so you guys can hopefully see it better. Oh, that's awesome, Robin. Hi, Tammy. I absolutely love that book, but it does scare me a little bit. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to darken up the outer lines where we want it to be really shadowed. And I think I'm going to put some lighting in on the right side of her. So this little part right here where her hair comes in over her face, it's going to be a little bit shadowed behind that. It's also going to be a little bit shadowed to the left of her glasses, and I'll put a little bit of a shadow just underneath her glasses as well. So next I'm going to switch to the mustard. I'm going to place a little bit of this over the willow. And I'm going to bring it out a little bit. I'm going very, very light with this one because this is a very yellowish color. And then lastly, I'm going to switch to the golden yellow. And I'm just going to very lightly place that in over top of everything as well. Guys, is it better with or without the light? I feel like the light might be washing the picture out a little bit. Sharon, I'm using the Derwent Inktense pencils. Okay, we'll keep it without. I'm used to the settings on my recording phone, and I don't really ever use my everyday phone to record videos or stream or anything, so hopefully it works out. Bear with me. So I'm going to go in and activate her face. I'm going to make sure there's not too much water on my brush. No, Erin, that is not the lamp. That lamp is in my closet. It's my grandpa's lamp. You're funny. I'm surprised you remember that. So as always, I'm going to go in, oh, that is very yellow. Okay, I'm going to go in on the lighter areas and I'm going to blend towards the darker areas. I'm not too worried about her skin color right now because I can always go back in, and I probably will with maybe a little bit of saddle brown to kind of knock that back. And I completely forgot that she has skin behind her glasses too, so I'll have to go back in and do that. These definitely weren't the same colors that I used for my other skin tones. I might have to watch back on my Inktober videos from last year. I'm going to go back in with the willow in underneath the frame of her glasses on both sides. I'm going to bring a little bit of a shadow in on the left side of this part of her glasses as well. Robin, I do wish the Inktense had better skin tones. I usually can make do with them, but I actually don't usually use the Inktense for skin tones that often. And if this doesn't work out, I'll probably just go back over it with Prismacolors anyways, but it's worth a try. Next we're going to go in with the mustard and basically color in everything else with this color. Actually, now that that's dried a little bit, it actually does not look quite so yellow, but I think going over that with the tan definitely will help. And because I want all her skin to match, we're going to do The same on all the rest of her skin, even though I'm not completely happy with it. Yeah, I'm a little bit OCD in that regards. It usually bothers me to mix sets, but for me, the Inktense is more of a watercolor than a pencil, so I usually don't like mixing pencil sets, but I don't mind mixing Inktense with a different pencil. So I'm going in with the Willow, and we're going to put in some shadows here. I just realized I missed just a little tendril of hair there. And I probably confused you, Robin, talking about your Facebook status. I just realized that it wasn't your status, it was Anne's. So it was Anne that pulled the all-nighter, not you. I apologize. Yeah, I do. I actually enjoy mixing the Prismacolors with the Marco Raffines sometimes, even though they're made of two entirely different things. But I find that they actually do work well together. Next, I'm going to go in with the mustard, and same thing, I'm going to go over everything and bring it out a little bit. Thanks, Jody. And then lastly, I'm going to go in with, oh, see, that's the problem. I meant to grab the Sicilian yellow, and I grabbed the golden yellow. I see where I went wrong now. My bad. Okay, so I guess I'm going to grab the golden yellow, and I'm just going to very lightly pop that in. I blame the cold, it's messing with my head. Back in with the willow. Oh, Kitty's getting up, camera's gonna shake. You gonna lay back down? Good girl. Lilo, hey, lay still or you gotta get down. Yeah, her skirt is made from Paige's. That's why she's called Library Fairy. Okay, switching to the mustard. And then the golden yellow. Um, that's a tough question because there's actually a lot. I'd have to say, I think it's the fairies one by that Christine. I think her last name is Farron. Sammy colors her pictures quite a bit, and I'm actually really getting into that. I want the grayscale version of her book for two reasons. The first, because I absolutely love the pictures in it, and secondly, because I've never tried grayscale, so I think that'd be a fun book to try that out on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and activate this, and starting with our lightest color and working into our darker colors. Okay, I think her face should be dry enough. We should be able to go in and kind of make it look a little bit more skin toned. So I think to help make it not so yellow, but actually it did tone down quite a bit, I am going to go in with the tan. And with this, I'm going to take it right off the pencil. I don't want to get too much on the page. So I'm going to take a little bit off the pencil, and then I'm going to work really quickly and just kind of rub it in. Erin, that's a water brush. It's basically like a paintbrush, but it actually has water inside of it, so you don't have to constantly dip a paintbrush back in water every time. Oh, a little bit too much there. Okay, might need one or two coats of that tan, but I think it is knocking back the yellow a little bit. Yes, you are. You're going to be a professional colorist in no times. Yeah, blah, no time. Maybe I'll even get you a coloring book for your birthday. Although I'm a bad friend, I can't quite remember when your birthday is. So moving down to her legs, I'll grab the willow again and put in our shadows. So the back of her leg here would be shadowed, as well as the part here, because her other leg is resting over top of it, so that would create a shadow there. Yeah, no problem, Robin. Take your time, hun. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Okay, next year maybe. There's also going to be a shadow on this part of her leg, as well as in underneath her hands. And because we have two different shadowed areas here, I'm going to go in at the bottom shadowed area and I'm going to make that a little bit darker. Just so they don't really blend into each other, they'll still stand out. Just going to keep adding color until I'm happy with it. And then we'll switch to the mustard. And lastly, the golden yellow. Hi Charlotte, thanks for joining, hon. I hope you're doing okay today. It actually wasn't too bad. Me and Rain dropped him off on Friday, and he's only there for 3 hours in the mornings, so it's not too bad to begin with. And I actually think Rain had a harder time than I did, so I had no problem just dropping him off, leaving him there. He had such a good time, and this Friday is actually my parent helper day, so I get to go in for the whole day and help out, which means Carvin gets to have his show and tell, so he's pretty excited for that. And it works out great because that's also, Rain has this Friday off, so he'll be able to drop us off and pick us up, and then he has a few hours to himself to just be at home by himself for once, get whatever he wants done, or just relax. So he's pretty excited for that too. Okay, I'm going to go in with the tan again, picking it up off the brush, and I'm just going to blend that into her face a little bit more. It is pretty exciting. I like that they actually have parents come in and help. Okay, I think I'm liking that a little bit better. The darker skin makes her hair pop out quite a bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for her arms. Yeah, Erin, Mrs. Bruce is still the teacher. Why was she the teacher there when your kids went there? If they did? I imagine they did, otherwise you probably wouldn't know her name. Yeah, She's got Mrs. Bruce, Mrs. Webb, and Mrs. Jackson for teachers. She is pretty great. I actually really like her. So does Carbon, although she's a little bit of a hard ass sometimes, so Carbon's a little bit afraid of her. I think his favorite is Mrs. Jackson. I totally get that, Robin. My OCD would hate to leave it unfinished as well. Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, so while we're waiting to finish putting layers on her skin, I'm actually going to grab my gel pens for her glasses. So I'm going to grab a dark and light metallic gray gel pen. Hi Desiree, thanks for joining. And anybody who's watching but isn't chatting, thanks for being here. So I've actually found that you can blend gel pens together, although you have to be really quick while doing it. So I'm going to take the lids off of both of these, and I'm going to start here in this corner with the darker gel pen and just kind of color in the corner and then blend the lighter gel pen into that. I'm going to use the darker gel pen at both the top and the bottom sides here. Switch to the lighter one. Bring it pretty much all the way around. Then I'm also going to have it a little bit darker in the center here. And my dark gel pen doesn't really want to work. Okay, and then we'll switch to the light one again. And then again, we'll put some darker gel pen in the corners here. Hi Kim, thanks for being here, hon. Uh-oh. Do I even want to know why she got mad at you? So I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but it just makes her glasses really shiny and they'll stand out a little bit more. And then I think while we're at this step, I'm actually going to grab a black Prismacolor pencil and I'm going to color in her pupils. Thanks, Desiree. Oh, little miss is moving again. Sorry for the shaking. And I think I'm pretty much done with her skin for the most part. So while I have my black Prisma out, I'm going to go in and just darken up her eyelashes. Then we're going to come in with my white Signo broad pen and I'm going to bring out this part of her eye a little bit just because I kind of colored it in there and I want to keep it white. And then we'll also put just a little bit of sparkle in her eye. When you say signed up, do you mean the whimsical one or the VIP one, Tammy? And maybe we'll also put just a little bit of a highlight on her lip. That's a good idea, Robin. I used to use my, which ones do I have? I have the Staedtler pigment markers, and I probably could use them over this, but I usually work with Prismacolors, and I actually ruined 2 of these because the wax destroys the nibs of them, so I'm a little bit mad about that. Now I have to go and replace the 2 that I lost, especially with Inktober coming up, because I'm going to need them. Oh, they're both on Facebook, Tammy, but I assume you mean my group. And if so, that's awesome. If Danny or Christy are busy, I will accept your request after the stream. Pickle, I do use the Posca pens too, but I feel like mine's a little bit too thick for her eyes because her eyes are super small. I have the 0.7 millimeter one. Okay, so I'm not sure if her face is dry yet, but you should be able to put the last layer of tan on her arms and then the first layer on her legs. So again, I'm just taking it off the brush. I'm going to make sure that I don't have too much. And for this, I want to make sure there is a little bit more water than I would usually use on my brush, just so if I end up picking up a little bit too much, it's easy to kind of get rid of. I also have a Kleenex right beside me, just so I can blot away any if it does end up being too dark. Desiree, it's the Hannah Lynn's Whimsical Adult Coloring Group. I was actually asked to take over that group. There was 3 original admins that initially started the group, and I was lucky enough that they asked me to take over it when they decided to basically give it up, and I have been running it ever since. And we're actually looking for a new admin, so we ended up removing somebody as an admin and from the group entirely, so I can't count how many admins I've had to replace, mostly because a lot of people offer to admin the group and then they don't realize how much dedication it actually takes. So far, Danny and Christy have lasted the longest, and hopefully they don't ever quit on me, because I don't know what I would do. Hi Elaine, thanks for being here, hon. Oh, I just realized, I apologize if I've missed anybody's messages. I always forget to change my chat from top to live. I'm not sure I could link it either because I don't have my Facebook on this phone that I'm using for the chat. You don't think you'd be too busy to help us out? That'd actually be pretty awesome, Tammy. I could ask the other girls and see what they say. Okay, I think her face is dry enough. I do want to put some blush on her. So I'm going to grab, I think the Scarlet Pink and Poppy Red. Okay, thanks for the offer, Tammy. I will tell the other girls and see what they say. What's wrong with my phone, Erin? Thanks, Robin. There's the group right there, if anybody's interested. Oh no, Charlotte. I try to remember, but sometimes I do, other times I don't. I think the last time I streamed it was on Top Chat the whole time. I don't even think I noticed, so I don't know how many messages I actually missed. So the Poppy Red is the darker color, so I'm just going to go in and I'm going to pop that in the corners of her cheeks. I'm going to fade it out. There's not going to be too much on this side of her face because this side of her face is mostly hidden. So there's just going to be a tiny little bit of this color in the corner. And then I'm going to switch to the Scarlet Pink. I'm going to kind of blend that into the Poppy Red. And then I'll fade that out as well. And actually, I guess I should have a little bit of blush up here as well. So basically, I don't like to let blush come out any further than the closest inner line of her eyeball, if that makes sense. Otherwise, then it kind of starts to look clownish. Erin, you watch your mouth, mister. There's nothing wrong with my Android. Oh no, Charlotte, that would be awful. Especially because you probably didn't even see their comment. You get like all excited and then no, it wasn't you. Erin, how long have you had your iPhone for? Yeah, Erin, on some live streams they do giveaways and stuff. The one you currently have. Okay, so her legs are the last part that need the last layer of tan on them. Other than that, her skin is pretty much good. So I am going to put these colors aside and we'll work on her shirt. Oh, so you've almost had it for a year. That's not too bad. Erin, have you ever owned an Android? And my coloring guru last time said to go navy blue on the shirt, so I'm going to trust her for that. And I'm going to use the same colors that I used for the blue book here. So I'm going to grab the dark purple, indigo blue, and bright blue. Oh, that's awesome, Charlotte. I was going to go to Dee Dee's stream, but I kind of slept in today. And then I had a bunch of stuff to do to get ready for the stream and stuff, so I never did make it over there. I agree, Kim. I absolutely love my Android, but pretty much my whole family, actually my entire family, all have iPhones. I am the only one with an Android. Might I also say that they're always complaining about their iPhones, and I never complain about my Android, so... Although I'm pretty sure my mom and my dad probably wouldn't know what to do with an Android anyways, though. So the dark purple is going to be our darkest color. So I'm going to bring that in along her back. And I'm going to do a fairly harsh line. And I'm pretty sure her shirt ends here, so this little bit here is part of her belt, I think. Yeah, me neither, Elizabeth. I don't ever want one. And then I'm going to fade it out a little bit. What's up, little man?
Oh, wait.
That one? Here, let's see. It's probably...
No, not that one. This one.
You got to turn the volume down.
It was did one time. Tell you that did that.
Yeah, I can, but not right now, okay?
Later. After you do your
after my video.
Yeah. Game, Mom.
You're welcome, honey. Can you close the door over again? You remember how?
Yeah.
Not all the way.
Like
yeah, just like that. That's perfect. Thanks, baby. Thanks, Desiree. I absolutely love how it turned out. Yeah, that's true, Erin. You probably could make your iPhone a lot better. Yeah, Tammy, we're like the total opposite. We don't even have a landline. We just have our cell phones. Yeah, and poor little thing, he's sick too. But actually, he has it easier than me and Rain. He's been stuffy and that's about it, and he's pretty much over it. And then I got it the worst so far, but Rain's just starting, so... But he'll probably get over it sooner than I do because he's going to be working through it, so... To still with the dark purple, I'm going to create a little bit of a shadow following along here as well. And just coming in underneath her arm. Hi Annette, thanks for joining. This is from Mermaids, Fairies, and Other Girls of Whimsy. This is the cover right here. And actually, I will be right back, guys. 2 seconds. Sorry about that, guys. I had some people at my door. Oh no, Desiree, that's terrible. I hope you feel better. Ear infections definitely are not fun. I'm actually getting, my wisdom teeth have been coming in over the last couple years, and I think they've given me about 2 ear infections so far. They are not fun. No, Erin, it wasn't the Jehovah's Witnesses. They stopped coming to my house after I stopped answering my door. So they knew I was home because they'd see Carbon in the living room, but... I mean, I have a no soliciting sign on my door, and they are probably the only people that completely ignore it. And, you know, I have nothing against them, except for the fact that, you know, I don't need people coming to my house and preaching to me. I have my religion. I don't know, it's just a little bit annoying and kind of unprofessional, actually. So next I'm going to switch to the deep indigo, and I'm going to put this in over top of the dark purple. And I'm going to bring it out a bit. Oh, I can't imagine why, Erin. going to put a little bit of this in at the bottom here, and then also just in between these little buttons, and a little bit on this side as well. And then lastly, we're going to go in with the bright blue, and again, I'm just going to throw that over top of everything. And then activate it, and as always, working in our lighter area first and blending it into the darker bits. And my water brush is way too wet for this. So, if anybody's coloring, what are you working on? Yeah, they're pretty awesome, Erin. I am quite in love with them too. Okay, and also before I forget, I'm just gonna grab my brightest color that I used for the hair, which is probably the chili red. So I'm just gonna grab that quick and just color in that little tendril of hair that I forgot. And then just activate it. Oh no, Kim. That's a tragedy. I'm sorry to hear that. It sounds awesome, Jody. I'm sure I'll see it in your story later. Desiree, that's probably the one picture, well, that and the castle. I really like the castle and the pumpkin in that book. I can't justify getting it. Not unless they drop in, like, if it went for like half the price, then maybe I would grab it. And actually, I just noticed there's one more little tendril of hair here that I missed. And then I think that's it for hair. Day holidays. I'm not sure what that means. Do you mean like Halloween and stuff? Which ones, Erin? The ones that I'm coloring in, or the Kirby Roseanne books? Yeah, those Disney books are awesome, Robin. I wish the Amazon Canada carried more of them. If they even carry any at all, I'd have to look. Are you a Jehovah's Witness, Robin? Is that what you mean? It's I think it's about $15 here. I have a bunch of his other books. They're along the lines of these ones. But, you know, this book is $15 and it has double the pages as his newest one. So I can't justify paying the same price for a book that has less pages, even if the paper quality is better. I won't do it. Plus, his publishers took away so much of his, like, decisions on the book, too, so I don't really want to buy it. Exactly, me too, Robin. If I could get the one where it has both of them combined, then I probably would get it, but I'm not sure if they're going to offer that here. Yes, Hannah has I think she has 12 free pages on her website. I think it's 12. I know she has one for pretty much every book that she's put out, so. Oh, that's awesome, Robin. Like I said, I have nothing against the religion. It's just, I don't really like when people come and talk to me at my home. Actually, I usually don't like talking to people in general because of my anxiety, but the ladies that come around are really nice. They just, I don't know. I was always worried about carbon acting out around them too. But I think because there was actually a couple Jehovah's Witnesses that used to live here before me, so I think they used to talk to the lady that lived here before me all the time, so that's why they'd always come over. Ooh, that's awesome, Charlotte. I am the same way. I have one Christmas book, and that's Hannah's book, and then I have like 2 or 3 Halloween books, so you can tell what my favorite holiday is for sure. Exactly, Jody. I don't like that they took all his control away from it. And like the thing that I don't get is they did that because there was people that requested it, but I guarantee, and actually going by the ratings, they should have kept it the same because majority of the people wanted it kept the same. So, I know that I want the accents on her shirt to be gold, but I'm not 100% sure on what to do about these little wristband things. What do you guys think? Could do them gold as well, maybe. Oh, that's exciting, Elizabeth. I would get it if Hannah put out an exclusive picture in it, but who knows? Maybe I'd still get it because I don't think I have any from any of the other artists that are in the featured in the book. Okay, so I'm going to use the same gold that I used for the blue book. Oh, which country was that? I honestly can't remember. I can't remember if I saw that on YouTube or in one of the Kirby groups. Here, 2 seconds. I can't see the chat. I'm just going to search this up quick. Gotta turn that down, baby.
Wait.
What's up?
One more you can put. You can't open door and close door.
Yeah, that's in Roblox. You have that one, honey.
Get out the door. So I am going to.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think I must have seen that on Facebook because I'm not seeing it here. Okay, but while I'm thinking about it, I'll just quickly do that last layer of tan in on her legs. Oh, maybe she did. I'm not sure. I'd have to check her channel. Okay, so there is her skin officially done. Charlotte, I'm using Inktense to color her skin. Did you want me to repeat the colors that I used, or? Oh no, Robin. Don't think I wrote down what I used for the gold, actually. Yeah, don't take it too personally, Robin. Some people just do it for the heck of it. Oh, yes, I'm using the Inktense, so I kind of messed up and I ended up using golden yellow instead of Sicilian yellow, which is the one that I wanted for her skin, so it made her skin look a little too yellowed. So I've been going in with the tan and just picking it off of the pencil with my brush and just kind of laying it down to make it less yellow. So I don't know which colors I used, but I'm going to go with mustard and Sicilian yellow. I think those were the ones that I used, but I'm not sure. Or actually, let's do cadmium yellow. We'll make it really bright. It'll stand out quite a bit. Yep, no problem, hun. So I'm gonna grab the mustard and I'm gonna place this in basically just along this line here.
My robot is not here, but my robot is not on my team. It's not here with the
Hey, don't bump my desk.
The other damn game is not on right now.
Oh, that's right. I'll see what I can do, okay? But not right now. You have to wait till later.
After you done?
After I'm done, I said, yeah. Make sure you close the door, please. Don't slam it, though. Okay, and I'm going to try to do the same here. Little turkey. Ugh. I know, he's obsessed with it, but there's this granny game that he plays. And keep in mind, he's like 4 years old. So he plays this granny game where he's running around trying to escape from this house while this murderous old granny goes around killing people. It's way too gruesome, and oh man, he just started acting out really bad, so no, that game is gone. And unless I can figure out how to block the granny game, the whole Roblox app is gone. So he is pretty sad about that. Okay, Norwegian, that's right. So I'm going to pop a little bit of the mustard in on here. and then at the top and the bottom of this bit here, and then just a tiny little bit on each button. And then for the rest, I'm just going to go in with the cadmium yellow, and I'm going to put that down pretty firmly. I want quite a bit of this color because it's going to stand out really well against the blue. And then we'll go in and activate. I swear, activating these pencils is one of my favorite things ever. Okay, and I think I finally decided what I'm going to do with her belt. I'm going to go in with the mustard on the bottom right on these two buttons. I'm going to fill it in with the cadmium yellow and activate it. And then I think I'm going to grab the two darker blues that I used, well, actually the deep indigo and the dark purple. Oh, that's pretty awesome, Erin. I guess that'd be one way to spend time with them even though you're not actually with them. It'd be pretty fun. So I'm going to take the dark purple and I'm going to put it on either end and then just along the bottom of this. And then I'm just going to place a little bit along the underside of her belt here. And then I'm going to go in with the deep indigo and just finish coloring that in, and then we'll activate that. And then I think the last part of her belt, I'll probably do like a grayed out black. And just to kind of make the cuffs on her match her clothing, I'm going to do these little bits here blue. So I'm going to grab the deep indigo and I'm just going to do either side with that. And same with the ones around her ankle, or ankles. Thanks, Jody. And then I'm going to grab the bright blue and just pop that in between. And then for the cuffs, I do want to keep them gold, but I don't want them to be as bright as the gold on her shirt. So instead of the cadmium yellow, I am going to grab the Sicilian yellow. Oh, that's awesome, Kim. Yeah, my nieces live like 9 hours away from me now, so I usually just FaceTime them on my sister's Facebook. That's about the only way that I get to see them these days, but thankfully they come down for the summer, so it makes it a lot nicer. So I'm going to take my mustard and I'm going to put it on either side of the cuffs, and then I'm just going to put a little bit under each of the lines just to create a little bit of a shadow. And then I'm just going to lightly go in over top with the Sicilian yellow. I'll do the same thing down here. Mustard on either side. And then just underneath all these lines. And then over top with the Sicilian yellow. I'm going to be really careful when activating this bit. I'm basically going to just activate it going along the same way that the lines do, just to kind of keep those shadows where they are. Okay, so for the belt, I don't want it to be completely black. I think I'm going to go with the neutral gray, which is what we used for the black book. I'm going to run this along the underside, or the bottom I guess, of this belt here, and then along the left side as well. And then I'm just going to start fading it up until I'm barely using any pressure at all, and that's it. Then I'll activate it from the lightest area to the darkest area. So she is pretty much done aside from the background and her wings and antenna and stuff. So what I'm quickly going to do is I'm just going to go through and I'm going to write down the colors that I've used, because y'all know I'm OCD. So do that, and then we'll get started on the background. And actually, I think, because I want to use pastel for the background, but I want the edges to be darker. So kind of like a vignette border, but not black. It'll be like a tan color. So I'm actually going to find my pastel swatches. And I just have a cheap Artist Loft set of pastels, but they work really well for me. And I think I'm going to go a mix between this yellow ochre and this yellow. So I'm going to find a color that's just a little bit darker than the yellow ochre, but that I can blend the yellow ochre into, and I think that's going to be the mustard. Hi, Modern Colorist! Thanks for joining. If there is anybody else that joined that I didn't say hi to, I apologize, and a big hello to you. So I'm just going to grab the mustard, if I can find it here. It's in one of these bunches of pencils. Okay, and I'm basically going to take it and run it along the border here. So I'm going to go fairly firm on the outside, and I didn't really think this through when I taped my page to my clipboard. So I'm going to run it really firmly on the outside, get a lot of color down, and then I'm going to start just slowly fading it in. It's pretty much no pressure whatsoever. Oh, that'd be pretty cool, Kim. I've never thought of that. But what I usually do for my borders is I actually color them or paint them black. So that's another reason why I'm trying to finish this book, because I want to get it spiral bound, but I want all of the outer borders to be black, and it'd be kind of hard to paint all of them with a spiral binding. So my plan is to color all the pages first and then take it in to get spiral bound and pray that they do it right. If they don't, I'm going to be so mad. That's the only issue with that plan, is if they mess it up. I have put hours and hours, probably even like weeks, into coloring the book. But just going to hope that it goes well. I know you would, Erin. I would too, and you know that I'm not the kind to really make a big scene about anything, but if they wrecked my book, oh by God, I would lose it. It's not so bad if you bring like a brand new book in and get them to spiral bind it, because if they mess up, they'll usually replace your book, but they cannot replace this book because I've already colored in it. So actually thinking about it, another thing that I'm going to do before I put in the background, because I want the wings to be translucent, but I want them to be like a very translucent blue. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of match a color to my lightest pastel color, and I'm going to use that to just kind of color in behind the wings, and then put the blue over top of that before I even put the pastel background in. Because I don't think the ink tints will work over pastel very well. Though you're making my camera shake. Oh, so what do you guys think? Should we leave the words gray or should we go over top of them with kind of like a darker tanned yellow color? Or even make them, no, maybe not black. I think they'd stand out a little too much then. So I'm going to switch to a larger water brush. I'll probably grab my medium-sized one, I think. Okay, Erin votes leave them, which is probably the safer thing to do. Okay, we'll definitely leave them then. Just going to go through and start activating this color. I'm not going to be able to pay attention to chat for the next couple minutes. I'm going to have to work quickly with this. Sorry, it went blurry there. Sorry, almost done, guys, and then I'll catch up and chat. Okay, there we go. So while I write down my colors, that'll have time to dry, hopefully. Yeah, Erin, they make bigger water brushes. This isn't even my biggest one. Let's see, which one is? This is technically my biggest water brush, although I do have a bigger flat brush. See, look, they make different sizes or different shapes of brushes too. Aaron's not picking. He's new to the coloring world. He actually doesn't really color. He's just here to support me. He's actually my friend that I've actually met in real life. And he doesn't color, so he's going to be full of questions. Elizabeth, I usually, if I post my pictures in the Prismacolor group, I will usually post my used colors as well. And it's actually on my to-do list, but in the Prismacolor group, I am going to be making a album full of the colored pages that I have colored with the with little pictures of my book in the comments. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do before I quickly write these colors down is I'm going to grab my Sicilian yellow, and I'm just going to very lightly just bring it in over the wings. I don't want to put too much of this because I kind of want it to match the pastel color, which is going to be tricky. I'm just going to very, very lightly put that in. And then I'll activate it, and then once that's dry, I'm going to go very lightly over top of it with a super light blue, just to kind of make it look like translucent blue wings. Oh, sorry, Kitty's moving again. Camera's going to shake. Oh, and my hubby's home. Oh, Miss Lilo. I love that group too. I was actually super excited when my friend Danny asked if she could create it. But it's kind of funny. She expected like maybe a couple hundred people to join. I think we're at almost 10,000 people now. It's insane. Thanks, Tammy. I can't wait to finish it. Hi, Zucchini Kitty. Thanks for joining. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly write down my colors here. And then hopefully everything will be dry by then and we can move on. So we'll start with the skin, which we used, let's see, Willow was our darkest color. And then, let's see, I think we used mustard on her skin too, didn't we? I think, yes. And then the golden yellow. Tan. Poppy red and scarlet pink. There's those colors. And then I could put for her shirt, that's just the same colors as the blue book. Let's see, the gold accents were mustard and cadmium yellow and Sicilian yellow. Belt was the same as the black book. And I think that's it. So Sorry guys, if I don't do this now, I will forget what colors I used, and then I'll have to go back through and watch the video, and it takes forever. Oh, bye Jody, thanks for being here, hun. And thank you. I hope within the next couple days I'm feeling better too. I don't know, Erin, your name is kind of true though. But it also makes it so people can find you super easily, so. Okay, so the page is still a little bit wet, so let me just zoom in a little bit here. So I'm just going to take a black fine liner, and for the antennas I'm just going to make them black, nothing special. And same with these little bits here as well. Mr. Aaron. Oh, 2 seconds. I gotta go let the hubby in the house. Okay, I think her wings are dry enough. So I'm going to grab the iris blue. And I'm going to very, very lightly just kind of run that along her wings. And I never really thought about this, but it might actually turn her wings like a greenish color, but that'll still work too because her eyes are green. We'll go and activate that. I did not lock him out. Our doors are just always locked. You're funny. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab my pastels because I think that's the last bit to do other than a couple white highlights. So I actually like to keep my pastels in my old Prisma box. And the colors I want are the yellow ochre and yellow. going to zoom out a little bit here. So normally I would start with my darkest color first, but since it's still a little bit wet around the edges, I'm going to start with my lightest colors. So I'm going to grab my yellow. And how I like to do anything with my pastels is I like to take my X-Acto knife, which I literally just had. I don't know where I put it. Oh, never mind, found it. And I like to take off some shavings and do it this way. I know a lot of people like to just rub their, whatever they're using, onto the pastel itself, but I find doing it this way actually saves a little bit of time and you get a more pigmented look. I also like using makeup sponges, so I'm just going to go in and I'm going to put some of the chalk dust on my makeup sponge and then just start rubbing that into the page. I'm not sure how far I'm going to bring this out, but actually one benefit of doing the lighter color first is the darker chalk pastel will go over top of it, so it should work out either way. Yeah, I just find it works better that way. I'm a little too impatient to... Oh, Kitty's moving again. Sorry, guys. Okay, Missy, come here. Oh, sorry. I gotcha. I gotcha. I'm a little too lazy to constantly try and rub it off of the pastel itself. Charlotte, I would basically do the same thing that I'm doing with the Derwent Inktense, and actually it'd be a little bit easier with Prismas because since they're wax based, it's going to be a lot harder to get that pastel to go over the Prismas. So where you've already colored is more protected. Since this is colored with Inktense, I could actually get, I don't know if you can see it here with the green book, but the end of this is actually pretty yellowed now. So I can actually get more of the chalk pastel into the colors that I've put down just because there's still tooth to the paper. If that makes sense. Basically because the Inktense aren't resistant to the pastel like the Prismacolors would be. any extra color, I'm just going to carefully tap into my garbage can because I've heard that the dust from the chalks are actually really bad for you. And then I'm going to take my yellow ochre and just do the same thing. But I'm going to rub this into where I've already put the mustard Inktense pencil. And as you can see, that actually blends in there really nice. So I'm just going to put more concentrated color on the outsides, and then once the makeup sponge kind of loses a little bit of the pigment, I'll start rubbing it into the lighter areas just to kind of blend them together. Hi Annette, yeah, as soon as the stream is over, I can send you the link for that again, hon. You're welcome, Erin. You should feel special. You are the only person in my real life that I've allowed to watch these videos. So, feel special. I'm actually happy to have you here. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Oops. Oh, just totally killed my lamp. Sorry, 2 seconds, guys. So I'm just going to very gently kind of wipe off any extra pastel dust off the page. I'm going to take my brush and just kind of gently rub against the colors as well, just to kind of rub off any pastel that might have gotten onto them. Other than that, I think it's pretty good, and it's just a couple more things and then we're done this page. Thanks, Charlotte. Hi, All About Art. Okay, so I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella pen. I'm going to make sure it's really shooken up. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to make these pages look shiny. I can't remember who it was that gave me this idea in the first stream that we colored her, but it's gonna make these silver pages look like those silver foiled pages. And then I'm also gonna very carefully, because the Uniball pen here, the white pen, is water-based, so I don't want to smudge it, so I'm just going to very carefully tap on some of the Winkastella on her glasses too, just to kind of make them look shiny as well. And then last but not least, for white accents, I'm going to grab my Uniball pen again, and actually first I'm going to grab my paint pen, my Posca. Oh, that's not the right one, that's black, I don't want that. Let's see, this one. So I'm going to very carefully go over her wings. And just get rid of the majority of the black around them. I don't go too crazy with this. I don't mind if there is a little bit of black showing through. And my Posca pen is dying on me, so I'm waiting for my replacement to show up. So it's almost more grayed right now than white. But I think it'll give the same effect anyways. So there we go. So now her wings are super subtle. I really like that. And then I'm going to go in with the Uniball Broad, and I'm just going to put a little bit of a white dot on each of these little buttons. It's not even really noticeable on the camera, but it's very subtle in person. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of a white highlight on this key here. And I think that's it. I think she's done. So I don't know if the Winkastella is going to show up. So hold on 2 seconds. My camera light is very dim here, or my phone light I should say. Okay, so yeah, you can see it pretty good. So it gives a really nice effect. Actually, if I hadn't have put I could probably, let's put some Winkastella in over her wings as well. Okay, there we go. So now her wings are nice and sparkly too. Thanks, Charlotte and Robin, sorry. Try and talk too fast and then I mess up. Yeah. Yes, I absolutely love using that to make kind of like more distinct accents. Desiree, that is the Winkastella brush. I can't remember who this is by though. I think it's just called Winkastella, or maybe there's like a brand as well. I'm not really sure. Bye, Zucchini. Thanks for being here, hun. Okay, so I think that's it, and it's going to be it for the stream today too. I'm not sure if I'm going to be streaming on Wednesday or not. As always, if you have Instagram, I will let you know in my Instagram story. If you don't have Instagram, I guess if you don't get a notification that I'm streaming, I'm probably not. But thanks everybody for joining, and I hope you guys enjoyed the process. And next time we stream, we'll be starting another page out of this book. I can't remember which one it's going to be that you'll see next time. No, Erin, it's Wink of Stella. Okay, thanks for being here, everybody. And I will definitely see you next time. Okay. Bye.